Okay, I'm back and we are still in Chapter 8. We're still working with layers and layer masks very specifically. Now, we have just recently made a selection of the striped soccer players. Now we want to go to Window on the menu bar. We're going to go to Properties. And for some reason I don't show any properties, so what? I have no idea why we were supposed to do that. Sorry, you guys. I just click Window on the menu bar, then click Properties. Okay, so we did that for whatever reason. Now we are going to go up to Layer on the menu bar. We're going to go down to Layer Mask and Hide Selection. And there we go. The mask in the opposition layer, and you'll see this on your layers panel, completely obscures the players wearing the striped jersey and partially obscures some of the opposition team. The layer mask thumbnail appears to the right of the layer thumbnail. Now in this one, you're going to, if you did not impact the selection like I did, then you'll want to go through these next two or three. You'll want to go through these next, let's see, all the way back through and down to this where they're painting this layer mask. They chose to paint it after the selection was made and masked. I chose to do that before. And this is considered correcting and updating a mask. Modify the layer mask with a refined mask. Now I can also do that because you see I see just a little bit of blue here as well. So I am going to get the brush, make sure that I'm masking in quick mask mode. Let's see. Now it won't let me do that now. Okay, here. And then I am going to try to mask in this little piece right here. You can see what I'm doing. I'm actually revealing it rather than hiding it. So I'm going to do a Command Z. I need to make sure that my black is at the foreground. I should have known that. But and here, now I am just, again, you have to make sure that the mask on your layer is highlighted. Make sure that you have your brush selected. Make sure that black is in the foreground. And then we're continuing on to mask just a little bit more of that, just to make it a little bit better of a job in terms of masking. I might even knock down this size just a tiny little bit, and I would make this a hard brush size as well. You can see just a little bit of blue along his hairline. And you can continue painting as well. Now again, you would be doing this just a little bit differently if you followed the steps in the textbook, but either, if you've not realized it by now, Photoshop has about a dozen different ways you can accomplish the same task. One of the reasons I love it. So let's do a Command 0 and zoom out. And it seems like I've gotten rid of most of that. I don't know if that guy, if that's a blue leg right there or not. No, that's that guy's. Okay, all right. So I will be back in just a moment to let you know what our next step in this great little process is. Okay guys, I'm back and I am at selecting and aligning layers. We are going to make the layer thumbnail of the opposition layer on the layers panel active. So we have that highlighted. You want to make sure that we were just a moment ago impacting the layer mask thumbnail, and you can see that that's selected by the little white lines around it. You want to make sure that it is actually the layer thumbnail itself that is active, which it is because you can see the little white selection marks around it. And then you want to verify that the running players layer is visible. So here you click on the visibility and now that's visible as well. You're going to press and hold Control if you're on a Windows or Command if you're on a Mac, and then we are going to click the Running Players layer on the Layers panel. And you'll see that we have both of these selected. Compare your Layers panel to Figure 9 in your textbook or to mine on the screen. Now we're going to click Layer on the menu bar, and we're going to point to Align and then Vertical Centers. And this is with the vertical centers aligned. Now we're going to click the opposition layer on the Layers panel. The additional objects are no longer selected, yet all retain their new locations. Alright, now we're going to transform a layer using Scale. You want to click the Referee layer on the Layers panel. And you want to make sure that it's visible. And then we're going to go to Edit on the menu bar. And we're going to go to Transform and then Scale. And you'll see that immediately there's a bounding box around the referee. You want to press and hold Shift, and then you're going to position the scaling pointer over the upper right hand handle, and then we are going to drag that down to the left to 1020 by 140. .1080 by 110. No, 1020. And I'm going to do it visually because my numbers are off. I'm not able to determine by the smart guides. So if I look at this guy, his head is at about the second stripe on that one player's chest. And since we're scaling it proportionally, that should be just about right. Now release the mouse button and the Shift, and then you're going to click the Commit Transform Enter button on the options bar. And I always have a heck of a time finding this because my my window is so narrow. So I'm just going to double click it, but you guys can again find that if you have a larger window to work with than what I do. All right, now in the past, creating a collage meant physically cutting and pasting a variety of images onto a single object. And we have probably all done that with Photoshop, or if you've not, you wanted to create the same result with a Photoshop image by assembling a variety of objects. Done that many times, and actually it's really a nice way to create memories, a memory collage or something like that. But You can click and drag one object into another object. You can copy and paste objects all into one Photoshop document, but there's a variety of different ways that you can get all of the images into one file and then have effects applied, add tape, position them, and so forth. So again, I would, although it's not an assignment, certainly something you might want to try, creating a collage in Photoshop. Such a fun exercise. All right, now we're going to transform a layer using flip horizontal. So we're going to make the single player layer visible and the active layer. So you want to turn on the eye, and we are going to click on it to make sure it's the active layer. Then we're going to again go to Edit on the menu bar, and this time we are going to point to Transform and Flip Horizontal. Right down at the bottom. Use this all the time. And then we're going to move that flip player to the image on the other side. You have to get the move tool in order to do that. And then just quite easily you can just click and drag him. Until he's about in this position. I think he needs to be up just a little bit more. That looks about right there. Okay. Now you want to do a Command or Control S to save your work. And I think this will be the last demo I do for Chapter 8. Unless you request something more of me, please feel free to do that. And have a great rest of the day.